Hello everybody and welcome to the Thursday edition of Video Clips. We skipped Tuesday because of the holiday this week. I hope you all had a happy and safe and healthy Labor Day. Didn't eat anything I wouldn't eat and all that jazz. All right, as usual, I'll start with a couple of announcements. Lots starting in September. The next Food Over Medicine certification starts this month. I'm doing a boot camp business training for health professionals starts this month. October 1st, another professional mentoring class starts. Next week, fall semester at the Wellness Forum Institute starts, and we are only about 75 days away from our fall conference, November 14th. So, a bunch of stuff you should be checking into if you want to know more about diet, health, medicine, and all that sort of thing. And by the way, you got to be at our fall conference. It's just the most amazing event, and we're going to be talking quite a bit about my upcoming study with inflammatory bowel diseases, a longitudinal study. We have several co-investigators on board, and you're going to hear a lot about this. It's really, really cool, so I hope you're there to be with us for that. And we're going to have our first graduation ceremony for students of the Wellness Forum Institute. That's kind of an exciting milestone for us, too. Next Wednesday, September 10th, we'll post the next video on the website. It'll be Cooking with Chef Dell, dinner in 30 minutes or less. That is my kind of dinner. 10 minutes or less is even better, but he's got great ideas for quick meals at home. All right, I have two things to talk about today. One is that pesky dairy issue that we keep talking about again and again. Why? Because people are still eating dairy products, so I guess we have to keep talking about it. According to a new study, drinking cow's milk and consuming cow's milk products can cause abdominal pain. Well, that we already knew. The culprit's been identified as A1 beta-casein. And cow's milk, by the way, has many different proteins, but two of them include A1 beta-casein and A2 beta-casein. A1 beta-casein has been linked in several studies, not just this one, to stomach aches and related discomfort, while the A2 beta-casein apparently doesn't cause this problem. All right, well, the way I think about all this, and I think the right conclusion is, cow's milk is not for humans. Let's just stop having this discussion. But that's not the way the dairy industry looks at it. The A2 Milk Company, which makes dairy products containing only A2 protein, funded a research study to show that drinking A2 milk doesn't cause the abdominal discomfort that the complete cow's milk with all the proteins intact causes. And I won't go through all the details of the study. You can read that in the article. But indeed, the study showed that people did not have abdominal discomfort and stomach aches when they drank only the A2 milk. In Australia, sales of A2 milk products are increasing. It currently constitutes about 8% of the market. But here's the thing. This study only showed that A1 beta-casein, when you take it out of the milk, it reduces abdominal discomfort. It didn't show that cow's milk that doesn't contain this protein is safe. Remember that GI discomfort is just one of the problems with cow's milk, which has also been linked to juvenile diabetes, acne, chronic infections, asthma, allergies, osteoporosis, multiple sclerosis, autoimmune diseases, and breast and prostate cancer. And this study did nothing to allay the concerns that have been shown to be valid through scientific research about dairy products and those diseases. So no evidence showing A2 milk reduces the incidence of those conditions. So the only thing this study really showed is that A2 milk is less dangerous than the complete protein, cow's milk protein milk. So it doesn't change my advice at all. Sure does show how crafty the dairy industry can be. Boy, you give them a problem, they will figure out a way around it. Lactose-free milk, A1 beta-casein protein-free milk, etc., etc. Okay, so now I want to talk about something kind of fun. It can be fun to think about what life would be like if everybody in this country practiced dietary excellence and optimal habits. In fact, I took a moment and hypothesized about this in my book, Solving America's Healthcare Crisis, and looked at the consequences of that, all positive. Our healthcare bills would drop. Demand for junk food would drop until there wouldn't be much of it on the store shelves. Kids would eat healthy lunches. We wouldn't have any more factory farms. And I think at least some of this is going to happen in my lifetime. And I smile when I think about those kinds of changes. Well, apparently I'm not the only person who thinks about what would happen if everybody got on board and did this. The running shoe company Mizuno launched an ad campaign in March called "What If Everyone Ran?" to show what might happen if 270 million Americans who currently do not run were to take up running and do just 30 minutes a week. The company hired 4 graduate students to gather research data on how the United States would benefit. Some of the data appeared in the September issue of Runner's World, which I have right here. Are you surprised that Runner's World is like one of my favorites magazines? Of course not. So here's what the graduate students came up with. If everybody ran, well, first of all, there would be fewer sick days and productivity would increase. In fact, gross domestic product in the United States would go up by $25 billion. Healthcare costs would be reduced by $143 billion, and that's just based on estimates of how aerobic exercise reduces the risk of only diabetes and heart disease. We know it affects other things too, but just based on those 2 diseases. People would live longer. Research shows that just jogging increases life expectancy by 6.2 years for men and 5.6 years for women. We'd have 46% fewer homeless people. Nonprofit organizations like Back on My Feet have shown that running helps people to find jobs and housing. People would be happier, 37% happier, in fact, based on studies showing that exercise improves mood. The divorce rate would go down based on research showing that arguments are a major cause of divorce and the fact that running has been shown to reduce anger, which leads to arguments by about 83%. Well, there is so much good news in this story. First, the amount of running needed to achieve this goal is pretty minimal, 30 minutes a week. Races and marathons can be fun, but this isn't required to achieve the results that I just talked about. Almost all people who are walking around could figure out a way to run 30 minutes a week. The number of people who are starting to run has been increasing steadily for the last few decades, and it continues to go up every year. Races are packed, and the demand for new competitive events for runners increases all the time. Running is inexpensive, and it's the ultimate portable sport. One can run almost anywhere. And in fact, in this very same issue of Runner's World, it featured an article on Palestinian runners in the occupied territories. Now, my gosh, if you can run in the occupied territories, I think you can probably run just about any place on the planet. So take up running or jogging or combination running and walking. If you're a health professional, encourage your clients and your patients to do the same thing. Just think, we're only 270 million people away from achieving our goal. And the fact that we plant eaters and runners are going to live a good long time, we can visualize achieving the goal of everybody running at least 30 minutes a week. All right, I thought you'd have some fun with that too. That's all for now. As usual, pass this on to anybody else who you think might enjoy watching it. Have a great day, and I'll be back to you again next Tuesday with more news.